What is up, YouTube? Zen Rahman. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you my opinion on the carnivore diet. Okay, and before I begin, I'm not a nutritionist or dietitian, or I don't pretend to be an expert about anything. Okay, I'm just sharing my opinion with you and what I think. So believe what you want. Okay, so I've already done videos sharing my opinion on intermittent fasting and the keto diet, and I wanted to do a video talking about my opinion on the carnivore diet. Okay, and I didn't really have a lot of idea about the carnivore diet and what it actually is. The impression that I had about it is it being some kind of a variation of the keto diet. Okay, and where you would only want to have meat and animal products. So that is the impression that I had about it. Okay, up until recently, when I saw or listened to Fuad Abiad's Real Bodybuilding podcast with Paul Saladino, who's a doctor with 2 degrees, and I believe he's the most high-profile advocate or promoter of the carnivore diet. Okay, and he's also appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast and talk about the diet. Okay, so that's where I really learned about the carnivore diet and what it actually is, and it's a lot more than what I believed it was. Okay, so I'll just share with you some pointers about it. Okay, and take from it what you want, and I'll let you know what I think about it. Okay, so the carnivore diet, the idea of it comes from the fact that our modern day lifestyles and the way that we eat, the way that we live our lives, just our environment and everything in general, our diet habits, it has contributed a lot to the decline in health of the human body, okay, and the overall mortality rate of human beings. So it goes into going back to eating the way that our ancestors would supposedly eat, okay, and incorporating foods into your diet that wouldn't really have a lot of toxins in them, so you are not really putting in a lot of toxins in your body. Okay, so that's where the idea of the carnivore diet comes from, and I believe it's a little extreme, okay, like veganism, like keto. Okay, so I am not really a believer of these extreme diets, and a lot of the idea of the carnivore diet goes into the fact that vegetables have toxins in them, okay, and defense mechanism, chemicals, and whatnot. So I've talked about this briefly in a video I did about broccoli earlier, okay, but like I said, I think these ideas are a little too extreme, and vegans they have a similar argument about meat being harmful for the human body. Okay, red meat being carcinogenic. So what I believe is that we have evolved consuming all the foods that are available to us. Okay, and they've all contributed to the evolution of the human body. Okay, and I believe every food group has something to offer which benefits the human body. Every nutrient has some function in the human body. So I believe in a diet which incorporates all food groups, okay, so that you're getting all the nutrients that you can take from the foods that are available to you. But that is just what I believe. I am really not an advocate of any diet that tends towards extremism, okay, but this is the way that the carnivore diet is, okay. So like I said, a lot of it goes into believing that vegetables have toxins in them and you don't really want to ingest these toxins into your body. And what you really want to have on the carnivore diet is meat and organs. Okay, so Saladino makes the point about organs being micronutrient dense and overall healthy for you, giving you a lot of nutrition. Okay, so I think he makes sense with that point. Something that I don't agree with is consumption of raw organs and raw meat. Okay, so I don't really think that's a good idea, and I don't really think that's the way that our body is supposed to process and digest and absorb animal products. Okay, so in my opinion, you should be cooking your meat and organs and whatever. But he consumes raw organs. Okay, heart, the brain, kidneys, and livers, and whatnot. So if you want to be a purist and if you want to do that, I won't recommend it, but you can be open-minded about that. So that's one of the points that he makes, and he also talks about how the belief behind the carnivore diet is that consumption of meat and animal products is what has really contributed to the evolution of the human body. But these are just some ideas that go into defining what the carnivore diet is. Okay, this is not my opinion. I'm just sharing facts with you and what the carnivore diet is about. Okay, and he does make the point of you consuming organic, grass finished, grass fed, free range meats and animal products if you want to do the carnivore diet in the right way. Because if you're not really consuming any of these supposedly pure forms of meat or animal products, then of course you would be ingesting the pollutants and toxins that your inorganic meat or whatever would contain. This supports the arguments that vegans would have against it. Okay, but looking at it from a realistic point of view, if you consider the number of people that consume meats and animal products who are non-vegetarians, and how many of them, what percentage of them really consume meats that are grass fed or grass finished or organic or free range, I don't think that percentage would even be 1%. Okay, so I think it's a little unrealistic. Okay, and not everyone really has access to these products. Okay, grass finished, grass fed, organic, and whatever. And even if you were willing to, I don't think the average person would be able to afford it, because the grass-fed, grass-finished products, they are priced relatively higher than what non-vegetarians normally purchase. Okay, so that's what I think about that. So unless you're consuming these organic and grass-fed and wild-caught animal products, you're not really doing the carnivore diet in the right way. So that's just the way that that is. And typically, you would want to eliminate all vegetables from the carnivore diet, because they have toxins in them. And the idea behind that is that vegetables are just supposed to exist in nature, okay, and they have mechanisms to protect themselves from being eaten by humans or other species. Okay, so that's the thought process that goes into that. It's not what I believe in. Once again, I'm just sharing facts with you and what the carnivore diet is about. Okay, so you can have some vegetables on it. Okay, the vegetables which are technically not vegetables, which are technically fruits. Okay, and we may recognize them as vegetables. Okay, so there are some vegetables like that. Okay, like avocados, like olives and apples, and he talked about some other fruits that you can have on the carnivore diet, so you can get some of the micronutrients and carbohydrates from them. Okay, so it's not really a diet that completely eliminates any food groups. Okay, so you can actually have some fruits which you may recognize as vegetables, and some fruits and things like honey on the carnivore diet. Okay, so that was the bit about the micronutrients and whatnot, and fruits and vegetables. And also, the idea behind that is that the fruit comes from a tree, so the tree is offering you its fruit for consumption and for nourishment. Okay, so that is how you acknowledge the fruit or whatever foods you take from trees on the carnivore diet. Okay, and I believe you can apply this concept to whatever diet you do if you consume fruits and whatever. But this is just what the carnivore diet people believe in, and I think it makes kind of sense. Okay, so you see a lot of the ideology behind the carnivore diet. It goes into the primal nature of things. Okay, so it delves into uh, connecting with nature at a more deeper level. Okay, and also the idea behind consuming meat is that the animal is sacrificing its life to help you support your life and your life form and for your nutrition. So in that sense, in a spiritual sense, they respect the animals sacrifice and the food that you take from nature in that way. So maybe you can take that from the carnivore diet and apply that thought process to whatever diet you like to do, and whatever your food choices are. Okay, so yeah, that was a bit about the fruits and vegetables, and contrary to what people would generally believe, you can have carbohydrates on the carnivore diet. Okay, so it's not a complete no-no. It's not like keto where you would need to limit your carbohydrate intake to a certain very low percentage of your diet. Okay, so whatever amount of carbohydrates you need to have or want to have, you can have it. But again, Saladino, he wouldn't want you to have tubers like potatoes, sweet potatoes, whatever. Okay, because again, vegetables, they contain toxins, and that's not what I believe in. I don't believe in eating that way or eliminating foods because they have toxins. Okay, because like I've said before, okay, this is the reason why I don't really want to debate with vegans, because they have a point about consuming pure foods, so to speak. So I don't really think you're consuming anything that's pure unless you're having only distilled, purified water. Okay, because everything you eat, everything you ingest, the air that you breathe, it would have some kind of pollutants and toxins in it. Okay, so we don't really live in an idealistic world, so it kind of is that way. Okay, we live in the real world, and with what you consume, you would be consuming some entities that you don't really want to put into your body, but that's just being practical about it, and that's what I think. Okay, so like I said, you can have some carbohydrates like honey and some fruits and rice on the carnivore diet. Again, he wants you to avoid brown rice. Okay, because white rice, it's more processed. Okay, and so it would be relatively cleaner if you want to believe that. But you can have carbohydrates on the carnivore diet. Okay, and it doesn't really need to be a limited amount. Okay, so whatever amount you feel like meets your nutritional requirements or whatever, you can have that. Okay, so in that sense, that is one thing which I believe is a pro about the carnivore diet, is that you can do the diet and still eat in a balanced way. Okay, you can make it a balanced diet if you incorporate enough of fruits and carbohydrates into your diet. Okay, but then again, you would need to have grass-fed, wild-caught, and all these animal products and whatnot. So that I think won't be accessible and practical, realistic for everyone. Okay, but if you feel like the diet makes sense, if you feel like it's something that you can sustain and something that you can maybe afford and are in a position to do, then you should go ahead and try it and see how it works for you, see how you feel, see if you find it sustainable. Okay, and if it works for you, then that is great. People do it, of course. Okay, and they like it. Like I said, I don't really believe in these ideas of extremism or any diets that encourage you to eliminate food groups. So I don't really think it's the most ideal way to eat. I think you should be eating a balanced diet, incorporating all food groups, unless you're a celiac, you don't want to have gluten, or if you are lactose intolerant, then you don't want to have dairy products, of course. But whatever foods you're comfortable having, I believe in consuming them. I believe in eating in a flexible way, and that's what I believe. But if you feel like the carnivore diet is something that you can do and sustain and would like to try, then go ahead and try it and see how you feel about it. Okay, so the reminder that I got from this experience, if you want to call it that, is to be open-minded about things. Okay, and in this video, I've gone into some more deeper meanings, details. Okay, about what the carnivore diet is, and well, the diet is that way. Okay, so this video might have had a more layers to it than normally such kind of videos would have. Okay, so that is what the idea behind the carnivore diet is. Okay, I don't really think it's the most ideal diet, but what I like about it is that it can be a balanced diet if you want to do it and if you can make it that way. So that is what I think. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Like and share the video, subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.